Welcome back to the program. It is 2:22 at News Talk 1010. Eden Wall is with us. He is the creator and the host of Dreamcatcher. Now, for people,
The Dream Chaser.
The Dream Chaser. Now, when you send people to your website who have never been there before, do you try to explain, like in 3 minutes, what it is they're about to see, or just sort of lay it on them and figure it out for yourself? Because this is a very unique concept that you can't say this is like some other show, this is like that one, because it's not like anything else.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and I think the originality of the show has been a blessing and a curse, as we were just talking about in the break, because, people say they want something original. But the problem with something that is fresh and innovative is nobody has a reference point for it, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
And so that scares people sometimes. But we believe that will be the saving grace of the show, ultimately, in terms of getting it onto television and having a really huge splash. So, to answer your question, I just try to throw it at them to try to explain this can sometimes get you, I just say, listen, I'm out there going to ridiculous, and when I say ridiculous, I mean ridiculous lengths to make the dreams of everyday people come true. Now, here's the caveat about my show that really separates it, Ted, is that I find the broken wing dreamers, the people that are really in unsavory, almost horrific, really horrific circumstances. And
So
I
give
reach
me an
out to
example.
them.
You reunited a prostitute with her father.
And
I'm wondering myself, where's the humor in that?
Well, watch the episode.
Yeah.
But,
And yet at the same time, humor is probably the thing that makes it really bearable versus just depressing.
Exactly. I realized a long time ago, Ted, that nothing hits quite as hard as humor, right? And I think
True enough.
this. I think this too in journalism with your background is that there's nothing more piercing than clever satire, and we rely on that in the show. So to answer your question, the last episode called "Finding Faith," which is getting a phenomenal response from critics, it's on my website dreamchasertv.net. In this episode, I reunite a prostitute with her father before his heart surgery. You say, where's the humor? Well, I go on the street and try to find an accomplice to go into the massage brothel with me, and I end up getting somebody off the street to pretend to be a priest. Now this,
Okay.
now
All right.
the reason you're asking, Ted, you're asking Eden, why do you need a priest to go into a massage brothel, right? That's the question you're probably asking.
Because
right?
nobody would challenge them.
Because that disarms everybody.
Yeah.
As soon as somebody sees a priest, the cameras don't really matter so much. They think there's something really important happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And that worked flawlessly when I took the priest in. And you got to see this episode, Ted. I think you've seen a few of the episodes already.
I have.
And
And it should be on television.
I appreciate that.
It should be. Because I think it's something that is, first of all, I can't remember the last time I saw something that was really unique. Like you'll tune into something that you see on HBO and you think, wow, that's really unique. That's really cool. And then you find out, well, it's really just a copy of a show that's been going on for 6 years in Britain.
Right.
And you think, oh, wow, nothing new about that. But when you come up with something that is new, that is unique, and a Canadian at that, I think that they would be remiss if they took a pass. I think that they really, really would. I think that there's an opportunity to introduce people. The web is doing things. It's bringing people back to television. As much as bizarre as that sounds, people are saying it's driving them away and that's where they're going. But it can also work the other way around when people say, well, I saw this on the web. Now it's available on mainstream television.
Well, yeah, you make a tremendous point there because, in the future, would a guy like me have been able to, would I have had the opportunity to workshop, tweak, and refine such an original concept, which is what the web has allowed me to do.
Yeah.
So you look at now the 9 episodes, and I'm at a point now where we really have this down to a science. The formula is there. Episode 1 was great. Episode 9 is even greater.
Sure.
Now, this gives broadcasters the confidence to say.
Well, broadcaster, I doubt if they're going to give you 9 episodes to tweak. They
Exactly,
don't,
but now...
that's too costly,
but I
right?
got
But
it
if
all-
you've already tweaked,
I got it worked out.
pre-tweaked, that's you should sell it. Look, check this out, pre-tweaked.
Pre-tweaked.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot like some of my party tricks in college. Okay.
And you're getting good response on, from the people who are watching it on the web.
We're getting a great response, and we have literally thousands of emails coming in and this is the tough part, is I got so many dreams to chase now, and we we go through them with a fine-tooth comb, and we're trying to find the ones that are the most compelling. But the response on the web has been great, and that's how we know we're hitting the mark, and in all countries around the world.
So what are some of the more bizarre requests that you've had?
Well, you get everything. Listen, I'll tell you, this might sound completely ridiculous to you, but one woman wrote into me, and she's been in her home for about 11 years. She's got a fear of leaving her home. Her dream is to leave her house. And you say to me, Eden, where's the humor in that? I'm telling you, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to show you that, anything can be compelling if you approach it with sensitivity, thoughtfulness, and depth. And so I say to people, any dream works. Any dream works. It doesn't matter as long as it means something to you, which is what I wanted to ask you. You've veteran in broadcasting. What do you have anything that a dream left for the dream chaser? What haven't you done? What has eluded your...
I don't know if we can get into that right now, Eden, to be honest with you. I don't know that there's anything necessarily specific that, there were probably things that I wanted to do when I was younger they're gone now.
Yeah. I have a feeling, Ted, that you're going to call me about 2:30 in the morning after you've had a few, and you're going to say, Mr. Dream Chaser, I got it. I know what I want you to chase.
Yeah.
And then, I'll probably, don't worry, I'm not like Rob Ford. I'm not going to call the cops on you.
Yeah, no. Well, I wouldn't show up at your house either. Or hang around in your backyard. I was just checking out the property. Mm-hmm.
By the way, there's going to be a heck of a summer barbecue coming up, so you will be invited to my property before the summer is over.
Well, I look forward to that. And I look forward to seeing this on mainstream TV.
Thank you so much. Do we have time for my Wally Crowder story? Do we have to fly?
Yes, we do. If you can get it in about 30 seconds or so.
Oh, 30 seconds. Okay, let me try to cram this in very quickly. Is that when I was doing that high school talk show, I came here to interview the Kraut. And long story short is my cameraman did not press the record button. We called him back. We came down here. And he looked at me and said, this is a catastrophe. You know what we do with catastrophes around here? We go across the road for the big breakfast at Fran's. And he took me across the road for breakfast. We talked about Peterborough, which is where I'm from as well. And I realized that, this guy really was the real deal.
Yeah, that's where he worked. That was his first station he worked at. And that was my second station I worked at.
Really? So we're both Peterborough guys. Okay. But again, very rare when your expectations are met by your heroes in broadcasting. And, he was genuinely...
He's an amazing man. I talk to him 3-4 times a year.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say that because we're here, where he was for 50 years.
He built this place, let's be honest.
Let's be honest about that.
If Yankee Stadium is the house that Ruth built, this is the house that Crowder built.
And you've made no small contribution yourself, and I just wanted to tell you before we go that
if you edit that out to say you've made no contribution, I am calling you at 2:30.
No, but listen, Ted, I want to tell you that we've done a lot of radio interviews, and I really appreciate you, having me in here today.
It's my pleasure, and you do me a favor once they've decided that you should be on television. Come on back and we'll talk about that.
Thank you so much.
Dream Chaser, the website is dreamchaser.com?
Dreamchasertv.net.
Dreamchasertv.net. Very simple. Eden, all the best to you.
Thank you so much.